First, on behalf of Frontier Airlines, you're welcome to advertise on this podcast anytime, but I am still in beautiful Buffalo, New York, because my 9 o'clock flight that I hustled to get after writing a story quickly was delayed. And first it was delayed till 1:30, and now the latest I checked, it's about 2:30. So, folks, we got nothing to do but talk to you from the airport in Buffalo. So you'll hear some, automated vacuum cleaners and Muzak and all of that. But the most important thing is we get to talk about this Bucs game.
Is that really important?
No. They lose again, 44-32. Let me repeat that. 44-32. Now, they gave up double fours despite turning it out, getting 3 turnovers, 3. 2 from Josh Allen and one from a kick returner. And they still gave up 44. Josh Allen had six touchdowns. I think there's only been 2 quarterbacks in the history of the league, and 3 times this has happened in the league, I think, where there were six touchdowns in a game by a quarterback. He's got 2 of them. It was, can we now say, Steve Versnick, that no matter what happens going forward, this defense is not good, period?
I mean, you got to get there now. I mean, now, for years, they would give up a lot in the past. They were bend, don't break, but they could stop the run.
Yeah.
But now they're not stopping the run as effectively.
Mm-mm.
And they're still kind of bend, don't break, except they broke a lot today.
They break a lot. They've been breaking a lot the last few weeks. You get right down to it.
Now granted, let's first of all say Buffalo's a really good offensive team. And Cook's a really good running back.
But they didn't have all their receivers tonight.
No, they didn't. Although they healthy scratch, Keon Coleman.
Yeah, they're upset with him.
Brought Gabe Davis back, a longtime Buffalo Bill.
Yep. Former Central Florida kid.
Yep. But we know Buffalo's a good team, and they're coming off a loss, so they were mad and angry.
Sure.
And they're trying to catch the New England Patriots, who are leading them in the division by a couple games.
Yeah, trying to make a playoff at minimum.
But that your defense, your offense scored 32 points.
Should be enough. Period. Like, end of story. Should be enough. 32, and not just 32, but you led for a good part. Like I said, there was 9 lead changes. Right. It wasn't until, and they were kind of playing tennis to see who could hold serve, but it wasn't until Baker Mayfield had one picked off that really Buffalo got the upper hand in the fourth quarter. So both teams are going, up and down the field with each other. And, considering that they still don't have Chris Godwin, still don't have Bucky Irving. Oh, by the way, not for nothing, okay? This notion that, we go with a hot hand, can you tell me when anyone other than Bucky Irving has really had the hot hand? Because they finally played Sean Tucker a little bit more. And, all he does is make big plays. He scored 3 touchdowns, 3, 2 running and 1 receiving, and looked really good doing it. And for the life of me, I don't know why it's taken all this time with Bucky being out to say, you know what, maybe number 44, sure, he's back in, New York, where he went to college at Syracuse, but maybe we should keep the ball in his hands. It's not about the hot running back. It's about the best running back, the guy that makes all the plays. Doesn't mean you can't play Rashad. Rashad's a fine player for what you ask him to do. Short yardage, pass protection. Hell, the best offense they had in this game was when they were both in the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then you don't know who's got the ball or where they're going. There were some bright spots, like you said, man. 30.
Let's get back to the running backs, because hasn't this been a recurring theme? Because wasn't this the whole mantra last year with Bucky Irving?
Yeah, it was. That's a great point. That's an outstanding point.
Everybody knew Bucky Irving was the best back by 5 or 6 games in, but Rachaad White kept starting, kept getting the majority of the carries.
All but the final 2 games of the season. If you eliminate the game he was hurt at New Orleans, where Tucker went off. Mm-hmm. But Bucky Irving didn't get to start until the final 2 games of the season. Yeah. And we were still saying, we're going with a hot hand. What? Wait, what? Bucky Irving had 1,122 yards last year. He averaged over 5 yards a carry. I don't want to be that smart. I don't look. if the guy's a liability in pass protection, it's very simple. Just don't put him in there for pass protection, right? Find something else to do with him. But we know he can catch the ball. You can throw it to him in the flat. We know he can run it. He can run on the goal line. He can run with power. He can run with speed, make people miss. He's explosive. There's a stubbornness. I will just say that there is a stubbornness about this coaching staff, and an inability to change very quickly for whatever reason. They have their notions, and I'm sure they have their reasons. But man, when it seems to be obvious to everybody except your coaching staff, you wonder. And can we also agree on this while we're picking apart the Bucs a little bit here tonight? Can we also say that this special teams, and I like McGahee as a person, I really do. He might even be a really good coach. He's only been here, 1 year. But I have to tell you, if you continue to have blocked kicks, if you continue to have, uh, punts that get blocked or that, don't produce anything in terms of field position, and now just to add a little salt in the wound, something even more special, long kick returns, right? Long kickoff returns. Oh, and then, we asked Todd Bowles, like, okay, so you're giving up all these 40 and 50-yard kick returns in the game. I mean, Josh Allen played on a 50-yard field. Baker Mayfield played on a 100-yard field. That's the difference in your game right there. And we asked them, well, why not have Chase McLaughlin kick the ball through the end zone or out of bounds even? And he goes, well, we considered that. And we like, he didn't say they tried it. It's kind of like it was under consideration, or we wanted him to do that and he couldn't do it. Now there was some wind and stuff like that. I don't know. Most kickers, when they're asked to kick it through the end zone, you're seeing guys make 60. He made a 65-yard field goal or 66-yard field goal. I think he's capable of kicking it for a touchback. But it didn't happen. It never happened. And I don't know why. It's inexplicable to me. But special teams, there's several losses this year pinned to that special teams.
No question, and we've been talking about it all year. I mean, and even Chase McLaughlin had issues early. Now he's been great since the first.
He
two
missed
games
3 kicks in his first 3 games.
Yeah, but punting's been an issue. Although Riley Dixon had a couple nice punts inside the 10 in this game.
He did, yeah.
But the kick return on the kickoffs were bad.
Right.
I mean, you can't keep giving short fields to other teams. I mean, that's why turnovers are so bad. Yeah. That's why turnovers, and it's essentially almost like a turnover because you're not making them drive the field. You're giving them a short field, which is what you do with turnovers.
Right. Yeah, you're talking about points because they don't have to do anything but cross midfield and they're in field goal range.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially with the way kickers are today. I mean, you get to the 40 and you're kicking. So you're going to give them 50-yard kick returns, 1 first down, and we're kicking a field goal.
Right. Well, they've lost 3 out of 4 now. And stop me if you've heard this before. Right? 5-1 record, 6-2 record. Now you're down to 6-4. You got to go to LA.
6-4 and only a half game lead in the division.
Half game lead over Carolina, who came back and beat Atlanta on a walk-off field goal. So now you got to go to the Rams, where you're not going to be favored, most likely expected to lose if there's such a thing. Rams are playing really, really well. They took care of Seattle in a big. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC. I really do. I watched Philadelphia. Man, they struggle on offense. It's just Titanic for them. And the Lions, I guess they're in it. But the Rams, to me, is the best team in the NFC. And so if you don't win there, you're 6-5 and fighting your butts off to try to win this division. Like the last 2 out of 3 games of the season is against Carolina. And you will probably need to win both of those in order to secure the division.
It also means you control your own destiny.
You do.
Even with losing, if you lose next week.
You're still in great shape.
Yeah, because you do have the 2 games against Carolina.
Right. Most computer miles and all this stuff, whatever that's worth, has the Bucs winning the division. Of course, they had USF making the national playoffs too. Get into them in a minute. But it it was different tonight than it was, when they lost to the Patriots and Baker Mayfield made his, Tim Tebow like speech. You will never see another team try harder. There was almost not really an acceptance per se, but almost like hey, we're still together. We feel good about this. We'll be okay. Like they weren't singing Kumbaya, but they weren't happy they lost, but they knew how they lost, and it wasn't like surprising or necessarily devastating. It's like, yeah, we just clean up a few of these things, but you know what? We've heard this now, and we've heard it from the coaches. Got to coach better, got to play better. It's not working, and the same things continue to get them beat. Coverage on kicks, um, big plays, chunk plays. Last week it was 4 over 50 yards. This week it was 2 more over 45 yards. Those shouldn't happen more than once or twice in a season. They've happened like 5 or 6 times in 2 games. Like that's the worst thing you can have happen. I mean, you do know that they only have 5 eligible people, right? And you've got 11 to stop 5. That it's kind of built for you to win, if you will. 5 guys are not supposed to beat 11 routinely, and yet that's what's been happening. They lose containment. Now, Allen is a different animal because he extends plays, and then if you don't plaster the receivers all over the field, he'll throw it past you, and he did that in this game. You got to get him on the ground, but man, what a beast when he wants to run the football near the goal line. He's Cam Newton. You know that, right? Like he's that kind of physical where he just decides I'm scoring, and he does.
No question about it. And look, you even had him flustered early. You nearly had a safety. So then he just lobs it up.
Oh my God, he pitched it. That was a terrible play by him.
Yeah, and Jacob Parris gets the interception, and you only get a field goal inside the 10.
Settle for 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible.
That's where you went, you got to score a touchdown there.
Oh, yeah. No, you jump out in front. You make them pay for that mistake. Like I said, 3 turnovers. The other thing that people were asking me, and I asked Todd Bowles about this, fourth quarter, I want to say there was 8 or 9 minutes to go. Like it wasn't 3 or 4 minutes. It was like 8 or 9. But he's got a 4th and 2 inside the midfield point. And, they've been holding serve, right? And you need to continue to score. And he didn't go for it. He punted there. And it cost him. It cost him because they went down the field and scored. And there just comes a time where you have to read the room a little bit. Now, they had gotten some turnovers, but I don't think you can count on 4, right? But it is Josh Allen. And I think at that point you go, we need to break serve here somehow. We need to maintain possession. The good news was, and there was some good news, and this might have been a reason to go for it on that 4th down, is that Baker Mayfield found his legs again. He had not had a rushing yard in 3 games, and he had damn near 40 yards, including a touchdown, and did a really good job, avoiding sacks and just making plays on his own. And so he said after the game that he felt better. That was a big part of it. And that, some of the opportunities just kind of presented themselves. One was an RPO, I think, but the rest of them were sort of, improvised, if you will. So it's good to know Baker's feeling better in terms of being able to pick up those first downs. If he felt that way a week ago, I think he would have gotten the first down against the Patriots and gone on and win that ball game. So yeah, it's a weird season. And yet it's every season they've had in the last 3 or 4 under Bowles. It really is. You can go back to Tom Brady; they were 7-5, and then they won 8 in a row in the Super Bowl. I'm not predicting that, but they have some winnable games, but not until after they play the Rams. And it won't matter because even though they play the Saints or they play the Falcons or they play the Panthers, those games will be dogfights. You know that. They'll be absolute right to the wire games. Maybe not New Orleans, but the other ones will.
Most games in the NFL are. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there's crazy results every week. I mean, it truly is a league built on parity.
Oh, and that's the popularity of it, and that's the beauty of it, I suppose.
Well, it's the unpredictability of it, which is what the gamblers and the fantasy folks love.
They do that. Vegas certainly does. I'll tell you what you couldn't tell on TV, how freaking cold it was. and when I say cold, I mean like the thing about being up north that I forget until I go is the wind. Mm-hmm. You know, the temperature, okay, it's 34, doesn't sound that bad. Oh, buddy, when it's blowing 30 miles an hour, it's cutting through you like a freaking knife. You know, just unrelenting wind.
I do not miss it.
No.
One bit.
And wind is like the hardest element to. I used to hate baseball. You could rain on me, you could throw snow on me. I didn't care. But if it was windy, I hated wind. Hated it. Like it just messes things up. Now Baker was able to spin it. He's got a good arm. I don't think it affected his throws per se. The kicking game it certainly did a little bit, but it was cold. And no matter what you say, this team doesn't play well in the cold. You know, they just don't. Emeka Egbuka, by the way, shut down. Absolutely shut down by this team.
We dropped a pass early.
Dropped one early. Never really got back in a rhythm.
Yeah.
In fact, the interception occurred when he was trying to get it to Egbuka, and the defensive back came off his guy and undercut it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was unfortunate.
Well, and it's what happens when you have one receiver, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. No one's afraid of Sterling Shepard. No one.
Nope. Or Tez Johnson.
Or Tez, yeah. And even though they'll make a play every now and then, it's almost like, wow, who was that? They made a play, you know?
But, you know, if you're Buffalo or any team facing it, you'll live
not
with
going out there
they made a play occasionally, but
looking for Ryan Miller on those off downs. So I don't know, man. It's dark. It's dark and gloomy right now. If you're a Bucs fan, the Bucs Twitter or Bucs.
Look, I don't know if it's dark and gloomy. Like,
whoa.
I mean, well, I'm not saying Bucs Twitter. I'm saying if you're the Bucs, and you said they weren't.
They're not devastated. It wasn't they didn't expect to win this game. It's just that they didn't feel like they played badly, except in certain spots. Like
they knew this 3-game stretch was going to be tough, and there was a real possibility of going 0-3 in it.
Yeah, it was.
Like so, it's not like you went to New Orleans and got blown out, or
yeah,
you know. I mean, it's. Did they play well enough to win? No. You know, did Buffalo beat them? Yes.
They did score enough points to win.
Oh, they did score enough. That's for sure. But
32 should do it.
Yeah. You know, but in this 3-game stretch, you didn't want to go 0-3, but there was a legit shot you could, and you knew that going
especially after you lost to the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah. And with, you know, only one of those 3 were at home. 2 were on the road.
Yeah.
You know, next week's a Sunday night game in L.A.
Brutal.
You know, that
long trip, short
going
week.
0-3 isn't the end of your season. If you do, I mean, you can go and win next week, but
they've lost 3 out of 4. So if they lose next week, that's 4 out of 5, and that looks like the last 2 seasons to me.
It does. But then you look at the schedule of the last 6 games.
Sure.
And you know, and the team that's chasing you, Carolina, you play twice, so you control your own destiny.
You definitely can get it done.
Yeah,
you know,
even if Carolina takes the division lead next week, which while you're in L.A., they're on Monday night at San Francisco.
And that won't be easy. The 49ers are getting healthy again.
Yeah. You know, so
and need to win.
Yeah, their next 2 weeks, I believe, is San Francisco and then the Rams at home.
I think you're right.
So that's their next 2 weeks. So but you know, you've still got a game with the Saints. You've got the
Cardinals
Giants,
at home.
Cardinals,
Miami on the road,
or Miami, yeah. You know, you got beatable teams the rest of the way. So
New Orleans. Yeah.
I know Bucs Twitter is doom and gloom, and
always
they're not going through a good stretch now. But it's not. The season's over. It's not. I had a buddy of mine who is a huge Bucs fan.
Yeah.
But has never been in the, you know, absolutely fire Todd Bowles
corner
that moves the chains every, you know,
they're
every
back,
few
by the
weeks or
way.
whatever. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely they are.
The club is reopened. They shut down for a good while. Now the boards are off the window. Doors are open.
So here was this text to me tonight. It says, people are overestimating the team's talent with all the injuries. Going into Buffalo to beat a Bills team that doesn't lose at home without your 2 best offensive weapons and lose your best cornerback mid-game was always going to be a tough order.
Jamel Dean.
But the path is clear. Beat Carolina twice, win one other game, and hope you have enough healthy horses for the playoffs. But he also then commented, his favorite part of the fire bowls trope is the reason for firing is something that hasn't happened yet. Yeah, they're just going to win the crappy division, go one and done in the playoffs. You don't know that.
Well,
and if you win the division, it's what, the 5th straight division title?
What if you don't? Let me just throw that out there.
Okay.
What if you don't? What if you start 5-1? Okay,
that's a different story.
You sustained some injuries, no question. Schedule got tougher, of course it did. What if you don't? What if Carolina comes from the ashes and beats you after a 5-1 start? Like,
is that what Sean McDermott might be facing in Buffalo too?
Maybe
the Patriots rising from the ashes.
Yeah, well, yeah, they are.
This was supposed to be the Super Bowl season for the
I know
Bills.
They're 9-2. By the way, the Patriots are. They won 2 games in 4 days. Yeah, and they look really good doing it too. They look really good, and that's the thing. It's like, so the hope for the Buccaneers. This is where I got a little, my eyes opened a little bit. Is the hope for the Buccaneers has been what? That Bucky Irving comes back, that you get Mike Evans back, that you get Chris Godwin back, that you get maybe even Jalen McMillan at some point back, right?
Yep.
Like that's kind of been okay. Just wait until, right? Just wait. Well, you know what? They can't play defense. They don't tackle, right? And so I'd like to ask, who's going to save the defense on this team? Because I don't see anybody coming through that door. Hassan Reddick? Is that what we're waiting for?
I mean, it would be nice if he would
possibly help, maybe, right?
By the way, the one touchdown, and I know that this is the way you run defensive stuff, but when you see Yaya Diaby trying to cover a guy in the end zone 40 yards down the field,
yeah,
it's like,
that's
I mean,
ridiculous.
No wonder why
Nelson in coverage too.
Yeah, but it's one thing if you're in coverage 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Another one when you're 40, 50 yards down the field trying to cover a guy. Like, really?
Well, Josh would extend the plays and those guys go vertical and it becomes a scramble drill and they got beat.
I know. I mean, Yaya Diaby's just trying to make a play. Like, he's, that's my guy. I got to go cover him.
Well, that's just Bowles being exotic once in a while and bringing pressure from other places and dropping his outside linebackers into coverage, which I hate, but he does it. And he got burned by it, But I guess my thing is, you can hope for the Bucky Irvings. You can hope for these guys to come back and make your team better. What it's going to do is make your offense better. But you know what? Until today, the last 3 games they had been really, really off compared to the first 6. Like, really off. Like, I did the statistics in terms of points per game, yards per game, quarterback rating, like all that. Just a slog, just an absolute drop-off, right? But tonight, as I do this podcast, I think it is still Sunday or maybe Monday. But this time, offense was pretty good. It was pretty damn good. They put up 32. And even though Buffalo can't stop the run, at all, they did what they were supposed to do offensively. But no one's coming to save the defense unless it's just Hassan Reddick. And that's not going to be enough. It just isn't. It's not a good defense. And Lord knows it's not a good special teams. So you got 2 of your 3 major areas of your football team that are lacking dramatically. And so, I don't know who they're going to stop. I mean, are the Cardinals bad? Can they not get out of their own way? Can Tua have some bad days in Miami? Sure. You're going into the division, so you're not afraid of the Saints. You're not afraid of Atlanta or even Carolina. But I'll tell you what, those will be tough games. They just always are. They always are. But this defense needs an overhaul. An overhaul. They are slow, period. They don't have any speed. Not in the areas where they need it, like inside linebacker, perhaps.
Well, that's been a problem all year.
Ugh. And I'm telling you, love Levante David, and he'll make the occasional play. But he can no longer be the eraser for the guy that's on the other side of him, right? If Servassier Dennis or back in the day, Devin White was, a little out of position or made the wrong decision in terms of coverage or whatever, Levante was fast enough to make up for it. He's not now. This defense is slow. They're slow. They don't have a lot of guys that can run. They just don't. Not in the areas where you need them to be. and it shows. You know, their best players on the field was Tyke Smith and Jacob Parrish. Those are best players. You know?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Zion McCallum make a play in 6 weeks. Now, they're not throwing at him, which is the good news.
Part of it is because they're not throwing at him.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it.
Which is what you want your number one cornerback to be able to do.
Sure, yeah. But the other guys, who's doing anything, really? You know, they stopped the run okay. Like, they're hard to run against, but, you know, quarterbacks are just lighting them up, the good ones anyway. So, yeah, you got to find a way to win with 32, period. I mean, there's been teams, including this one, the last 3 weeks would, you know, kill for that many points. And then they get it, and they're not even close. So it's, you know, it's the holiday season. It's the holiday season. It's time for, you know, the Bucs to go on their little shopping swoon here. But I don't know, you know, Bowles is quick to say, it's a different year. This has nothing to do with the last two. Well, you know, patterns are just that. I mean, you know, if you can't sustain success as a football team or as a coach, then you need to do something different. You got to do something different. And I don't know what that is, by the way, because I'm pretty sure he's not going to give up defensive play calling duties. I don't think he's going to fire the special teams coach until the end of the season, which if you're going on pure production, you have to look at that at least if you're going to look at your staff critically.
Well, if you don't have a replacement for him, then
but you know, they didn't have a replacement for Clyde Christensen when they got rid of him, and some of the other coaches he fired. You know, they did interviews. You know, when they fired Byron Leftwich, they didn't.
Well, but I'm saying mid-season if you don't have.
Oh no! Don't, you're not going to do it mid-season.
Yeah,
I don't expect any assistants to get fired, you know, before the end of the year.
Yeah,
but there will be changes. There has to be change. You have to hold yourselves accountable. And then the other thing I wondered, and I know it won't happen, but I might ask him in the press conference if I make it home. But don't forget it, folks. But that is there any part of Todd Bowles that is willing to let someone else call the plays? And I don't think it's the plays. I think it's players, not plays. My good friend Tom Moore taught me that. But
I think
it's not working.
Well, it's not working, but is there anyone on staff that's capable?
Well, you only have two. You got Larry Foote and George Edwards.
Right. And I know, you know, you've during the preseason let them call some and you're obviously game planning in that, but
yeah. But if you still
the question is, and Todd Bowles feels that he is the best one on staff to do this. He probably is.
And probably is. Right.
You know, so if you're going to make that change in the offseason, you're probably bringing a new defensive coordinator in.
Which you wouldn't do in midseason.
No. I mean, well, you're not going to get the best ones. I mean, all you can get now is unemployed ones.
Guys on the street.
Yeah.
But you know what? It didn't stop Dan Campbell from taking it over. He wasn't satisfied, and they had a really good record. Like, they were 6-2.
Well, but that's the head coach taking over calling. I mean,
true. It's not giving it up.
And he's done it before. Like, he's, you know, with a new defensive coordinator, because he lost his defensive coordinator last year.
Right.
You know, so he took that over. That's not.
Well, he took over the offensive play calling, yeah.
Yeah. Or I said defensive, but offensive coordinator, yeah. But it's not giving up the play calling to someone who's never done it before. Like,
right.
It's one thing if your defensive coordinator and staff had done it before.
Yeah.
Mid-season, you want to give that up. But you're not going to give it to someone who's never done it before mid-season now.
Right. No, you're right. I know he's not. But it's I'm just thinking, like, how do you get these quick fixes? Like, what can you do? And we hear it after every game. Got to play better. Got to coach better.
I mean, the quick fixes are the players have to play better.
Yeah.
And maybe there's some play calls you take out defensively.
Perhaps.
That aren't working. That either they're not working because they're just not getting done, or the players aren't executing them properly.
I mean, you know, against Buffalo, it could just be that the MVP, the reigning MVP of the league, is that for a reason.
That's part of it too. Like,
you know what I mean?
The overreaction Monday, which every NFL Monday is.
You lost to Josh Allen, so
on the
road.
Home. On the road. They're 16-1 in their last 17 there, or something like that?
With the wind gust at 30.
Yeah.
So on a bitterly cold day. Right. To me, anyway. The rest of America was fine.
Yeah, the disappointing part is you scored 32 and lost, but it was to Buffalo. It wasn't to the New York Jets. It wasn't to
that's true.
The Saints that way. Like,
right.
That's where, sometimes it's an overreaction, and it's now 3 out of 4, 2 in a row and 3 out of 4. So it's panic time. But
yeah.
This stretch was always going to be tough.
No, I know. When we did the schedule, we were trying to get the wins and win.
It was always going to be tough, and that was when you didn't think New England was going to be that good.
I know. Oh, I certainly had them beating New England.
Yeah.
After last year with Drake May. But again, that shows what a guy like Mike Vrabel can do, in terms of coaching, right? Setting the culture.
Well, and he's got his quarterback.
Mostly that. But I think Bowles feels like he's got his.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the offense last year was what? Tops in the league in scoring, and they put up 32 today in Buffalo. Like,
yeah.
And that's
really fallen off for 3 weeks until tonight.
And that's without weapons.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's always been the hope. But I'm here to tell you, they can score. They can score now.
Absolutely.
But they'll definitely be able to score when you get those guys back. It's just whether, how do you fix something with you only got the players you have. The trade deadline's over. They did nothing to help themselves, right? So you're going to get players hurt. You have now another player hurt. Benjamin Morrison went in, gave up some stuff, as you would expect. The rookie got to play, but now Dean is out. You're going to lose other players too. You just are. It's just it was, like I said, my takeaways were that they were disappointed, not that surprised, and sort of bowed to just a guy who's elite in this league having an unbelievable day. Like, just even though terrible interception to start the game, and they had 2 more turnovers in the game.
Well, that's the one thing. The defense is worse this year.
Yeah.
But they're actually causing turnovers, which they haven't done in years.
Getting turnovers. That's right.
They haven't done that in years.
No. And that's what wins. But
the bend don't break is being broken a lot.
Oh yeah. And how? I mean, it's not fun to watch if you're a defensive guy or a Bucs fan. But hey, they got to continue on, and they got to play Sunday night football against the LA Rams, who I believe won on Sunday. I'm pretty sure they were up.
They beat the Seahawks.
Yeah, and that was I think Darnold might have had 2 or 3 interceptions. That was a battle of the Titans out in the NFC West. One of those teams could come here for the playoffs now that it could be Seattle now that they have lost, at least for now, their lead in the NFC West. But we're still a long way. We're not to Thanksgiving, and again, my good friend Tom Brady, who taught me a lot of football in 3 years, said the season really begins after Thanksgiving. And when I say after, I mean like that weekend.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but he's right. It's such a long year, and you don't know who's good and who's not, and who's healthy, and who can overcome their foibles and flaws and all that. So we're still finding out about them. So. Anyway, hey, at least it gave me something to talk about while I wait my 7-8 hours for Frontier Airlines. That's the good news. By the way, when I got here, my travel sucks, man. So I got here. I had a 5:30 a.m. flight, to Buffalo through Atlanta. I was up at 3:30 in the morning on Saturday. Okay, so I get to the hotel, right, and I think I told you, like, I couldn't find a hotel in the city. It's Buffalo, New York. Who the hell's coming to Buffalo this time of year? Like, what is going on, right? That these hotels are either full or like a Marriott, or like a Marriott was $1,250. A Courtyard was like $700. I'm like, what in the actual? But turns out Sir Paul McCartney was here the other night. So I guess everybody from the Northeast decided to descend on Greater Baltimore or something like that. But so I get. Have
you ever seen him perform live?
No, my sister has seen him 3 times. This is amazing.
Yeah, I saw him in Vegas. Well, this has probably been 20 years ago now, but
Yeah. He's like 85 now, but
he was like 64, I think, at the time.
Oh, he's great then.
He sang for 3 hours and didn't even stop to take a drink of water.
That was back when he was doing like sold out because my sister went down and saw him at the Dolphins field, and they like sold it out.
Yeah,
it was a big.
This was a smaller venue in Vegas. Like we were just in Vegas, and he happened to be there, so we said, "Oh, let's go," and we got tickets.
Hell yeah, that had to be awesome, man.
It was phenomenal.
I'd be like Chris Farley in Saturday Night Live trying to interview him. Remember that time that you were with the Beatles? God, that was awesome. But yeah, but some, hey, that's big doings up here in in Buffalo as it is anywhere. Mm-hmm. But because of that, I'm at the team hotel because I couldn't find a hotel, so I took the team rate, which is not good, but whatever. And I was only staying one night because, as you know, I planned on flying back, and here I am not flying. But I got into the team hotel, and I said I'm with the Bucs, and a block of rooms, and the team's coming around 4. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Stroud, we don't have your room ready yet. If you want to store a bag, give us your number. We'll call you. At 4:05, I'd been here since 11:30. Now, thankfully, in a weird way, I was in my own cocoon because I had on the University of South Florida game against Navy. And brother, let me tell you, if you're a USF fan out there, I feel your pain. I do. I feel your pain. I cannot believe that USF allowed Navy, all due respect, the midshipmen are really good this year. Quarterback's great. But I cannot believe that they allowed them to put that many points up against them. And it just felt like from the first drive when they settled for a field goal, it just felt like I just kept screaming at the phone as I'm watching it, like, why don't you guys just out athlete them, right? Just, you have better dudes. You got better athletes. Get the ball in their hands and let's go. And they just kind of plodded along for the longest time. And I just never felt they obviously couldn't stop Navy, which was weird. That's the other thing. Did they practice what an RPO is? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, the quarterback receives the snap, okay? He literally has the ball in his hands on every play. But for some reason, when it comes to trying to defend the RPO, they're looking for the pitch guy or the whatever. Just tackle the damn quarterback. He's still got the ball. And if he hands it off, oh well, tackle the next guy that he gave it to, Crazy. They looked so unprepared against that Navy team, and yet it was there. It was theirs for the taking. It was theirs to win. So now the rep is that Golish has a tough time beating teams that are kind of nationally ranked or close to it or whatever.
Well, I mean, he beat 2 nationally ranked teams this year as they played
did it as they played them. Yeah,
yeah, Boise and Florida.
Right. They're not now, but they were. Look, I mean, he's done a fine job since coming in, for a guy that won 4 games in 3 years.
Look, outside the Florida game, he struggled on the road this year. I mean, they lost at Memphis. They had a big lead, lost at Navy, gave up a lot of points.
They just had so much at stake.
Lost at Miami, who at the time was rolling. But
yeah, no shame there, though. But I feel for Rob Higgins. I feel for the amount of money that they just left on the table because they couldn't get there. You may have a Sun Belt team like James Madison.
I was going to say, in the American Conference is what really lost in this. Now,
I think that's Arkansas State's conference.
The AP rankings, I mean, James Madison is 1 ahead of North Texas and 3 ahead of Tulane, and Navy's just a couple of spots behind
them. And there's still going to be a championship game.
And they're going to be a championship game, and they're going to play each other. So if someone can win out of those teams, they probably pass James Madison. Or
right.
But yeah, James Madison may get that spot.
Yep. It could happen. And it's a missed opportunity for USF. Because even with, all that had happened, if you just take care of Navy, I feel pretty confident with that momentum that, they could win their next 2 games. Against Rice and
at
Alabama,
UAB,
Birmingham.
And then Rice.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you're playing in a championship game against somebody, and if you win that, you're going to college football playoffs, and a huge windfall of money that goes with it that USF and those guys could have really used. But 'twas not to be this year, and so now we have to wait and see. Do they win their next 2 games and get to 9 wins? Is that what they got? They would have. I think they got 7 wins now.
Yeah, they're 3 losses. So
unless they go to the championship, but you're going to get a bowl game, whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean they're going to do that.
But it's really will Golish take a job at say Arkansas and take Byron Brown with him? That's what I'm waiting for.
And not to rain on USF's parade, but losing and not making the conference championship, presumably I think there's still a chance they could. They need a lot of help. That there's I think even a better chance Alex Golish could leave, because part of it, if you made the playoff.
Yeah, it'd be like, look what I built. I want to finish it.
Well, but is he going to leave? Because all these teams are going to want to hire as soon as the season's over.
Oh, that's true. Good point. And you have to play.
Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, when they made the playoff from the American,
that cost him a job.
No, he did not take jobs that year because he wanted to coach in the playoff, and so he didn't leave till the next year. Like he was rumored to take. Notre Dame wanted him.
Oh wow. Well, Notre Dame got lucky.
Well, and they took the defensive coordinator from Cincinnati, Marcus Freeman. That was
Wisconsin is not good.
That's like Luke's best friend, and that was his defensive coordinator. But he didn't take the job or interview for it because he wanted. I'm coaching. I don't know if I'll ever get back to a playoff. Right.
Well, that will not be.
So if Golish was in the play, it's possible he says I don't take a job this year.
Yeah,
but now
it's more likely. I think
I have no idea he's going to leave, or maybe teams are less enthused by him because of this. I don't know, but he won't have those ties. Like you're missing out on the bowl game. Like coaches leave all the time.
I just don't think he prepared his team for the big game. Yes, they beat Florida. Is Florida any good? But regardless,
they got a lot of talent.
Give them that one, right? They're not as good as Florida athletically or talent wise. They beat them. Give it that. Boise State, okay. I mean, good program, nationally ranked at the time.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. You don't throw any wins back. But when you really had it on the line at Memphis, up 14 in the fourth quarter, at Navy against a team that I swear to God, it looked like you never saw an RPO before. Why you don't tackle the quarterback who starts the RPO when he has the ball in his hands, I have no clue. But they didn't. And, so now what? Like you had your shots. You had your best opportunity there. I don't know. It's a great question whether he'll still be coveted, which I think he will. Whether he would entertain it more or less, I just don't know.
I just think he'll have more of an opportunity to entertain it because he's not going to be like, hey,
he's not going to be practicing for a month. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because they're going to want to look these teams, it's going to be the season ends on November 28th, 29th, whatever it is. By December 1st, most of these jobs are going to be filled.
Yeah, they will. In fact, some of them are already starting to fill unofficially.
Yeah, I mean, it's because of transfer portal, recruiting, everything about it. Like in hiring assistant coaches, you've got to fill it immediately.
You got to do it, yeah.
You can't wait till after the playoff in January and hire.
Right.
Too late.
Your boy, Big Game James, looks like he's going to Virginia Tech.
It does.
That looks like a done deal. I'll have to call Bruce Arians about that one.
Yeah, I believe that's Tom Jones's boy, though. But
might be. We have someone crying in the background. That is not
a
Bucs fan. That is just merely two kids that, like me, have wanted to go home for a very long time.
Well, they're kids and they're up after midnight. I understand why they're crying.
Right? They're supposed to sleep. Why aren't you asleep? I wish I was, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, quickly, the Lightning split a pair. They beat the Panthers on Saturday night.
Great win. Overtime win.
It was the Lightning were – no, it wasn't overtime. They won.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
No. Yep.
They came from behind, didn't they? Or did I get that wrong too?
No, they were up 1-0. It was 1-1, and they ended up winning 3-1.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I got it wrong.
Yeah, you got it wrong. But that's okay.
Right.
But all the fireworks everyone was anticipating, it seemed like the Lightning were willing to, but the Panthers weren't going to engage.
That's unusual.
Yeah. Now, we kind of talked about this last week, and I didn't think it would be that eventful just because two important points on the line for two teams that started off slow. Both teams are banged up. I just didn't think it was going to amount to much. So, but the Lightning got a big win there. Then Sunday, they're leading the Canucks 2-1 going to the third period, and they lose 6-2. So
they still got some injuries, though, right?
Yes, Brandon Hagel came back Sunday, but yeah, they're still without Victor Hedman, Pontus Holmberg, Anthony Cirelli, Dominic James,
That's
Mick
a lot.
Paul.
Yeah.
Now they're expecting some of these guys back Tuesday when they host the Devils.
Okay.
But yeah, they're banged up. I mean, they still have 6 regulars out.
But that win in Florida is a statement game, isn't it? Like that's the team that they got to beat to get anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was a statement game, but it's a good win. The only goal that Florida got was off the power play. They won the face-off, and Marchand quickly scored.
The rat.
But yeah, I mean that's a really good win against the division foe. You didn't
down
give them an extra point.
Was it down there or up here?
That was in Sunrise.
Sunrise, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a good win. Now the Vancouver, it was a bad loss.
Right.
Vancouver's not a great team, but back to back and all that. But you were up 2-1 going the third.
Yeah, you let go of the rope. That's
you outshot Vancouver 13-1 in the first period. You should have been up a lot more in the first period.
Right.
Their goalie Lankinen kept him in the game. I mean,
they might have stolen. Yeah.
You outshot him 13-1 in the first period, but you were only up 1-0.
Yeah, you gotta have more than that. Sure.
Yeah. But Lightning will get back at it Tuesday against the Devils. So.
Should be good. We didn't do this early enough, but we'll do it now. Make sure you get on down to Breitling Boutique, International Plaza Mall. That's where you're going to find the beautiful Chronomat watches for men, the Navitimers, also women's watches. These are sports watches for your wife, your girlfriend. They look absolutely beautiful. They'll tell you what time it is, like, say, I don't know, almost midnight or after that, waiting on a flight. You
got 2 hours to wait still.
I know. So I'm trying to make this podcast last as long as I can. But go down there. It's in the center of the mall, second floor. Spend some time. Great customer service. They're going to tell you about their watches. And while supplies last, they've been celebrating the NFL's 104th anniversary with 32 different team watches. These are limited, but they're absolutely sensational Chronomat watches for men. They get the team colors on the face of the watch, the logo. I've seen a couple of team watches in their window myself with my eyes, including a Bucs team watch. It's at International Plaza. It's Breitling Boutique. Please, when you go, make sure you tell them that you heard about it right here on Sports Day Tampa Bay. Appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully, I'll be back in Tampa sometime this week, maybe even on ESPN Tampa Bay tomorrow at 10 a.m., or I could be sitting literally in the same chair doing what I'm doing now, only on the radio. We'll see. Thanks so much for listening, as always. For Steve Versnick, I'm Rick Stroud, Tampa Bay Times. Have a great day, everybody.